Hello to the instant manifester that you are, the miracle manifester that you are, the divine human that you are. This is an energetic balance, a hypnosis, an activation, a transmission, a healing, an alchemical balance, a kinesiology session, a theta healing session, all wrapped up in one to offer you the unlocking of not only your theta healing skills, but also your soul's gifts and also your personal evolution on this journey because your purpose, your dharma, you stepping into a meaningful, soulful work from your that is expressed from your heart and from your soul is really bigger than you. This is supported by the divine. This is in collaboration with the divine. You're in collaboration with the divine. You are a conscious creator. You are made in the image of divinity. You have the powers and the potency to create reality, to create your reality and to really live from your heart and to express your heart and to speak from your heart. And this journey that you're on of quantum transformation, really, if we had to take the spiritual concept out of it and really understand it from a grounded place, it's simply you shifting your identity out of the limits of the ego mind, fear, self-doubt, suppressing emotional numbness, addiction, second guessing yourself, thinking negatively, living uh, from a lack of trust, and also believing in scarcity. If we were to understand what quantum transformation is from a grounded place, you're moving away from the paradigm that you have been conditioned into and your past identity. And you're moving into a higher self-awareness, a higher trust in yourself as the source of power and divinity and embodied knowing. And you're also moving into understanding that you can allow yourself to simply be, to exist, to rest, to be guided, to feel protected, to feel that you are powerful beyond measure, to release the patterns of the past where you compared yourself, where you didn't believe in yourself, where you overstepped your own boundaries, where you leaked your energy by wanting to save, fix, or heal others in the name of love. You're releasing your old identity. And that's what a quantum leap actually is. And that's what manifesting your dream reality truly is. When you no longer carry the identity that was either never yours to begin with because it was passed down through the ancestral lineage, or it was an identity that was built on trying to fit in and society's programming, and therefore it was not in alignment with your soul's limitless wisdom and truth. And now you're stepping into your soul. Now you're stepping into your divinity. Now you're stepping into nervous system regulation. The life that you truly value from a soul level, not from an ego level. Uh, and there is a difference. And there is a difference. So this session is prepared, and I'm going to tell you what the theme is. And I want you to feel meditative in this session because I am transmitting some codes for you. I also want to reference or stress the importance that right now, rest is imperative for you. Because, first of all, we're shifting collectively. Second of all, an identity shift does require rest because you may have been going through a lot of processing leading up to this identity shift. You may be called to leave certain things behind. So there is a letting go process, there is a shedding process, and that is energy. You might have been resisting this shift and this change within yourself due to fear and the not knowing, the uncertainty. And you may have been operating from your mind more than necessary, which is draining your life force. Too much mental energy, too much. So, the kind of rest that I see for you and you really reflect for yourself is the kind of rest where you create a sanctuary for yourself, where you finally learn how to attune to or recalibrate your being, your way of operating, your way of breathing, your way of living, your nervous system, essentially, to a release of noise, a release of overstimulation, a release of overworking, a release of overstriving, a release of this high frequency of panic, doing, fixing, climbing, grasping, even the release of any sort of desperate energy. And you start finding peace with simply listening to your inner guidance, not needing to fill in your time with a lot of doing, releasing busyness, really feeling at peace with simply existing in a place where there is no clock, there is no time ticking, there is no stress on deadlines, stress on urgency, stress on I have to's, stress on I must, I should, really just being in a space of I am at peace with simply existing right now, and that is my number one priority. Because what I sense for you is that you're in between lives. You're in the liminal. You're in between worlds. So there is nowhere to go other than simply existing in that in between, resting in that in between. What is rest for you? It's going to be very individual. Your rest may be laying in bed more than you've ever laid before. Your rest may be to stop socializing for a little bit and really go inward, which I highly recommend when you're in between lives, that the spiritual guidance is to go inwards, is to close all curtains to external stimulation and movement, and move at your own rhythm and move at your own pace and find stillness of the mind and come to some realizations that will come through and come up when you're in this stillness. And to face these realizations and to let the wisdom mature and to feel your emotions, to feel, to feel, because you're stepping out of intellectualizing and thinking things into existence, and you're becoming more embodied in feeling everything that needs to be felt and being in the body rather than hovering above the head. And finding grounding practices as your bliss, as your joy, that it's like, it's grounding time. It's grounding time. And this is amazing. It's grounding time. Really removing any sort of stress rate, stress response, trauma response from your body by simply relaxing into your being, removing every stressor right now because you're in between lives, feeling completion, feeling like you've graduated, you've completed. You know that feeling when you've graduated? It's like, okay, I've graduated. I can actually stop now before the next cycle. I can go celebrate. I can be on holiday. I can enjoy. I don't need to start up the next thing. I'm actually going to pause, enjoying the pause, finding it nourishing, finding it soothing, finding it nurturing. Rest is more than you think it is. I encourage you to ask yourself, what does rest actually look like for me? Because it might also look like no plans, pure surrender. It might also look like I'm just going to take every day as it comes for a little bit. I'm just going to wake up and see where the day takes me. Rest may be, I'm going to let go of all my attachments of what I desire and what I want to achieve. And I'm going to pray to the divine and say, Divine, thy will is, thy will is divine will. Rest may be everything that I am accustomed to do. I'm going to do the opposite. If I usually come home and just watch TV all day at the end of the day just to numb out and just to relax, I'm going to pattern interrupt and drive myself to the beach and put my feet in the water. That might be rest, pattern interrupt. Rest might be getting everything off your chest that is pending, that is in your heart, that needs to be said, that needs to be communicated, and writing it all down on paper or doing a burn ritual or calling someone and telling them how you feel. There's just so many things that go into rest to give you rest, because rest might be mental rest, rest might be emotional rest, rest might be spiritual rest, and rest may be physical rest, actual sleeping in, napping, switching off social media, releasing yourself from all expectations. Spending a day with someone who feels like a grandmother, grandfather spirit, and being a kid again. Being a kid again. What does my inner child want to do? My inner child wants to paint, my inner child wants to swim, my inner child wants to listen to music and dance. And that might be rest. So let's get into the transmission. This is the transmission. We're going to start off with hypnotic identity downloads to create a clean channel and also support you with this identity shift, this ego release that's happening. We're going to do this hypnosis. Then we're going to activate statements of alignment to be a clean channel when you want to have sessions with people before and after. And also a invocation so that you can have an energy break, an energetic boundary between you and your clients, and to understand that deeper. Then we're going to activate how do we trust our intuition and psychic knowing in sessions with people, clients, and my soul's work. How do I trust my intuition and psychic knowing in session or in my soul's work? Then we're going to activate how do I become masterful at true psychic channeling using my gifts or theta healing. And then we're going to activate what happens when my old identity is dying and my new one is forming. And then we're going to leave it at that. So this is a beautiful, beautiful session that has so much richness in it. So set your intention and just take a deep breath in. It's very important that you're breathing throughout this session. Consider this a breath work session as you switch off from all external noise and you really just feel, breathe, receive, reflect, contemplate, relax. Okay. So breathing in, breathing out. If you want to, you can even do a breathwork process where you place your index finger on your third eye, thumb on one nostril, and then the other finger on the other nostril, and then you alternate breathe. So you close one, breathe through your nostril, close that one, open that one, breathe out of that nostril. Then you breathe through this one, close it, then breathe out through the opposite one. So it's not mouth breathing, sorry, it's just breathing and alternating, breathing and alternating. So closing one, breathing through this one. And just do that as many times just to begin the process, and then allow just the natural breathwork process to take place. Okay. All right, so this is a hypnosis. So just allow yourself to really relax. Maybe you want to be in corpse pose, a yoga pose, Shavasana. So it's just arms out wide, legs out wide, and you just want to receive. And it's just this beautiful receiving pose. You might want to do that, or you might want to sit upright, breathe, and just receive the downloads, and you will feel it, okay? You may have your eyes open or closed, but I highly recommend having your eyes closed so that you can feel the energetic movements take place in your consciousness. Breathing in, breathing out. As you listen now, your system begins to remember how natural it is to rest as the witness, and how effortless it feels to let divine intelligence move through you. While you remain simply present, clear, and neutral. Your nervous system learns right now that it is safe to release fixing, rescuing, and carrying others. And you notice how your body softens as responsibility gently falls away. Take a deep breath in. Your subconscious is updating now, releasing the need to control outcomes and learning how to trust that what truly heals is always completed by a greater intelligence than the personal mind. And you may notice how easily neutrality becomes your new baseline. As your awareness naturally steps back and your perceptions opens without effort, without attachment. Your body is learning the feeling of being divinely protected. Even as you let go of ownership over healing, over change, over results. Your awareness is becoming sensitive now. So you're effortlessly recognizing the moment ego, personality, or performance tries to enter your perception. And you gently return to stillness. And each time emotion begins to rise, your system remembers how to soften, how to widen, how to return to the witness state automatically. Take a deep breath in. Your identity is quietly reorganizing now, so that being an instrument of divine intelligence feels natural, stable, and deeply grounded, without needing recognition or role. Your nervous system is learning how to close energetic fields completely, how to release conversations, sessions, and interactions cleanly, so nothing lingers and nothing follows you home. And your body knows how to return fully to itself, to your own breath, your own life, your own presence, feeling sovereign, settled, and whole after every interaction without effort. And as your awareness gently widens now, you begin to recognize how naturally truth arrives when you no longer searching for it, no longer shaping it, no longer anticipating what should come next. Your subconscious is learning how to rest inside not knowing and to experience this not knowing as safety, as space, as openness, rather than uncertainty. Take a deep breath in. As you begin to notice how guidance becomes quieter, clearer, and more precise, the less you attempt to interpret it. And the more you allow it to reveal itself. Your nervous system is recalibrating now to remain steady, open, and regulated. Even when you are receiving deep information or witnessing emotional material in others, your body is learning how to hold presence without merging, connection without entanglement, or witnessing emotions neutrally, with compassion, without absorption. And as you continue to listen, your subconscious releases the habit of over responsibility and gently updates your identity into one who witnesses without carrying. Your perception is refining itself now so that what is true becomes simple. What is accurate feels light, and what is not aligned quietly dissolves from your awareness. Your intuitive field is learning how to stay clean, spacious, and unattached, even when appreciation, emotion, or validation arises. And without effort, your system now recognizes when a session, a conversation, or an energetic exchange has completed. And closely, naturally, like a soft door returning to stillness. And at the deepest level of your being, your identity continues to settle into this knowing that you are not here to heal life. You are here to allow life to move through you clearly, quietly, and in truth. And now your awareness begins to recognize the precise moment when your mind starts to reach for meaning. And just as effortlessly, you allow that movement to soften. So perception remains open, empty, and receptive. Your subconscious is learning the subtle difference between receiving information and forming information. And your system naturally chooses reception. And as your perception becomes more refined, you begin to notice how truth feels still, while imagination feels active. And your nervous system learns to distinguish them without analysis. Your body is updating now to remain relaxed, grounded, and present, even when information arrives quickly, deeply, or unexpectedly. And you are learning how to let silence do the work for you. How pauses carry clarity, and how not speaking can deepen accuracy. Your intuitive field is becoming increasingly precise because your personal preferences, opinions, and identity stories no longer filter what you perceive. And when doubt appears, your system now recognizes it simply as movement in the mind, not as a signal to adjust the channel. Your nervous system is learning how to stay anchored in your body while your awareness remains wide open and connected to divine intelligence. And your subconscious now knows how to complete an interaction. Release the field and return fully to yourself without residual emotion, memory, or attachment. And at the deepest level of your being, you are remembering that mastery is not intensity, not effort, not striving, but the quiet stability of being empty enough for truth to pass through. For truth to pass through. So as you take a deep breath in, you recognize this empty, peaceful, still, and neutral, balanced state is how you channel the intention of your soul's work. So before a session or before content creation, before you express your soul through content or in session or in any interaction you have, you may want to create a statement of alignment for a clean channel. As you take a deep breath in and have your eyes closed, repeat after me. I now step into the witness state. I release my personal mind, expectations, emotions, and agenda. Creator of all that is. I ask to work only in truth, neutrality, and love. I invite my higher self to lead this session and create this transmission. I choose to be an instrument of divine intelligence, not the source of the message. Please remove all projection, interpretation, emotional bias, and personal desire from my perception. I ask to see, hear, feel and know only what is appropriate, accurate, and in highest alignment for this person and this moment. I choose clarity over performance. I choose truth over comfort. I choose neutrality over attachment to outcome. I allow divine intelligence to move through me cleanly and purely now. It is done. And so it is. As you take a deep breath in now, this statement can be after your sessions, soul work, interactions, or after your content creation. Repeating after me. I now release this session and this transmission completely. I return all energy, information, and emotion that does not belong to me back to source. I release all responsibility for outcomes, healing, and integration. I thank Creator and my higher self for guiding this work in truth and integrity. I step fully back into my own body, my own life, and my own energy now. I am complete. I am clear. I am neutral. This session is closed. It is done. I recognize when my channel is on and off. And so it is. Take a deep breath in. And now a invocation that you can use to have energetic boundaries, ego release, and do an energy break between client sessions or when you are assisting anyone with your light by being in your light. With this one, I just want you to have your eyes closed and receive it. You can say it aloud if you want to. Creator of all that is. I acknowledge that I am not the healer, the fixer, or the source. I offer myself only as a witness and an instrument of divine intelligence. I now release all personal responsibility for outcomes, healing, and change. I ask that all attachment, savior patterns, and ego identification to be gently cleared from my field now. I hand this person, this interaction, and this process fully back to you. Please complete what is required in truth, love, and highest alignment. I now energetically release this interaction completely. I return to my own body, my own life, and my own sovereignty. It is done. It is done. It is done. And so it is. And you can complete that with a feeling of gratitude for what has been witnessed in that magical experience. Because it is truly otherworldly and magical to witness a shift in someone, a transformation in someone, an aha moment in someone. So we're going to complete this part 1 with a transmission on how do we trust our intuition and psychic knowing. And then part 2 will be a meditation that will support you in an identity shift. How do we trust our intuition and psychic knowing in session? How does that actually work? How is it that someone can be utterly psychic and channel like the truth for you and you're just amazed? How do you do that? This is the key principle, and I want you to always listen with your discernment and to contemplate it and answer this for yourself, because you really do hold all the answers truly. You are a creator being made in the image of divinity. The key principle is this: what you trust is the state that you are in when the information arises or arrives, arises or arrives. Your true intuitive accuracy does not come from emotion, empathy, imagination, wanting to help, guessing, pattern matching. It comes from being in the observer and witness state, or the 0 point, presence. The first rule in session, before you read anything, you must drop out of your personal mind, your ego. And not just spiritually and meditatively, neurologically. You can have an internal checklist before you speak, and this will activate you as you do this, because asking yourself questions is a form of self-inquiry. Am I neutral? And to scan your body. Am I neutral? Am I trying to fix them? Scan your body. Am I hoping for a certain outcome? Scan your body. Am I emotionally hooked into their story? Scan your body. If the answer is yes to any of those, you are not clean enough to channel 100% truth. And what is 100% truth? You're not clean enough to channel from witness, from witness, from 0 point, from the still point of pure presence. So sometimes empathy and being deeply empathic and emotionally attuned to a client can feel in intuitive and full of integrity. It can feel that way. But it's actually not psychic clarity, because psychic clarity is neutral, simple, not urgent, not stressful, not needing. It doesn't come from ego. It's not dramatic. It's very secure and stabilized in one's beingness. This is how intuition feels when it's true. And use your discernment. It arrives quietly. It is clean. It is brief. There's not much story to it. It's brief, and then it follows uh how do I want to put it? The brief aspect is like puzzle piece, puzzle piece, puzzle piece, puzzle piece, puzzle piece, and then it's an entire whole. It has no emotional charge, and you are not attached to it being right. So that's where the work's at. You're deeply secure no matter what. You're simply present. You're simply present. And it does take practice to get to that confidence where you can be present with it. It does take practice to be in confidence around it. It does. And you'll get there. You are there because this path is not a path where there is any expectation for you to be anywhere else other than where you're at on the journey. It's all perfect. You're not comparing yourself to someone that's 10 years in, 20 years in, 30 years in. You'll be serving people for where you're at on the journey. And that's the relief. So the moment you start trying to help, you leave the channel. So how do you trust it? You don't build trust by believing it. You build trust by checking, was I neutral when this came through? So how do we become masterful at true psychic channeling? This is the real craft. This is what makes the difference between intuitive coaching and true psychic work. The mastery is not in seeing more, it is in holding zero projection. The real psychic structure is here. First, you enter into a theta state deliberately. You can use the theta healing meditation. You can witness the light. You can open your heart to love, and you can feel totally in love. You can do breath work. You can go out in nature and put your feet into the soil. You can instill theta state through anything, really. And it's not casual. You're consciously stepping back behind your thoughts. You're feeling your awareness widen, and you feel the observer seat. You know when you're in observer presence mode. It's the ultimate witness mode. It's the ultimate experience, meditative experience, where deep subconscious programming takes root. So the second aspect, once you're in a theta state, is ask questions. Creator, what is the root cause? Creator, show me more. Creator, what am I not seeing? Whenever you ask any question to Creator, you're naturally in theta state because you're connecting with Creator. You're connecting with your crown. That's how easy it is to be in theta state. Creator, what is the root cause? Creator, show me, lead me, guide me. So that's even more reason to be detached because you're simply the instrument. You're just the instrument. It's beautiful that way. Stick to the facts. I'm the instrument. I'm simply being the instrument right now. The conduit, the messenger. So your intuition is not the authority. Source is. So when you then are in theta state and you ask the questions and receive the information from the questions, receive before interpreting. When information comes, do not explain it, do not reframe it, do not soften it. You receive it exactly as is. Stay out of the client's emotional field. This is a huge one. You are not meant to feel their pain, merge with their fear, process their emotions for them. That's empathic merging, not psychic reading. You witness the information. And the real reason psychic accuracy improves is because you are empty. Not more gifted, more empty. Wow. Because you are empty, not more gifted, more empty. So, can you remain in the witness while receiving information? Say yes. Because this is where active perception without self takes root. What makes a true channel? You do not add yourself to the message. You are simply relaying the message. What you see, what you feel, what you hear, and you will receive that information because you have asked the question and you are in the present. And that is the overall intention. You've created the energetic container for this, the altar for this, the space for this. And you've got to trust that. You've got to trust in your authority, not as the source, but authority as the instrument. The most important discipline before you speak anything to a client, ask yourself, is this coming from observation or from my personality? If there is personality in it, tone, emotion, story, judgment, softening, encouraging, it is no longer a pure channel. Now, the most important part of the question, how do I trust my psychic knowing in session? You test it through the body, not through logic. When information arrives, you muscle test it. Not because you doubt yourself, but because the body knows when the channel is clean. Because the body is a clean channel. So you can muscle test until you become more and more and more confident. Is this true? Is this relevant? Show me yes, no. Is this a 100% yes? So you can verify through muscle testing. And that is the gift that you have. The channel plus muscle testing offers you that stabilization that you're seeking in session. How do you become masterful? Mastery happens when you practice these three disciplines. Radical neutrality, so that will always be there no matter what. In any kind of soul work, radical neutrality is the key. No agenda, no outcome, no fixing. Verification. You muscle test root causes, beliefs, timing, readiness, appropriateness. Or the client can also verify without you needing that validation until you gain your confidence. Emotional sovereignty. You do not emotionally carry the session after it ends. You let the information go. This keeps the channel clean. You always let it go. You always let it go. Because information is transient, it's transformative. There is only energy, and energy changes in form. And so once you channel the information, you want to let it go. So why is stillness and releasing noise the real psychic upgrade? Because the biggest distortion in psychic sessions is that you, as a practitioner, might have your own internal noise. It could just be mind activity, or it could be trauma or self-doubt. So the real upgrade that you are activating right now, right here, right now, is the ability to hear silence before thought appears. So again, stillness and releasing noise is the emptiness that we're talking about. You've got to be in your own meditative mind. So what that means is that it's like a retreat energy. It's like a retreat. It's a 0 point. It's a nervous system safety. It's not needing to solve. It's not needing to know. It's not even needing to get it right or have them walk away feeling fulfilled and happy and you validated. That's all ego that is ready to be dissolved. This is not a spiritual test. It's you being in your own peace mentally. So it's like a double win, 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 win. The more I'm embodied in my own presence, the more accurate I am in session. So you work on yourself and you cultivate a peaceful mind, noise free, and you are a master channel. How cool is that? And the final piece is that the master channel is not dramatic, intense, emotional. The master channel is quiet, simple, precise, deeply present. And the deepest truth is the clearer your own identity becomes, the less you interfere with the message. That is why your work around identity death and surrender is directly improving your psychic accuracy. Because no self is a clean channel. What I mean by no self is no false self, ego, conditioned mind. Thousands and thousands and thousands of thought forms that have no home structure or coherence. We're releasing that. Cultivate your peace of mind, and you are a master. So, the theta healing skill that is activating right now is this ability to enter the 0 point stillness on command and receive guidance without mental interference. It's not just relaxation, it's accessing the theta state to quiet the analytical mind. So guidance can be received directly from source. So your job is to be in theta state every morning and every evening until it is your new normal. So you're consciously moving out of beta and thinking state, rat race energy, and you're dropping into observer mode, really slow, slow, intentional living, and you've suspended problem solving and control, and you receive intuitive instruction without filtering it through fear, logic, or strategy. So another way of explaining this is it's stillness-based intuitive reception and living guidance instead of mental guidance. It's witnessing from the observer state, clearing survival-based thought loops, and downloading the feeling of safety in not knowing. And the paradox of not knowing is that you're a clean channel of stillness, neutrality, and presence, and then you receive the information and you're just relaying the information, bringing the not knowing into knowing, bringing the formless into form. So we're downloading for you is I can receive clear and clean guidance without thinking. I am switching off the analytical control and entering intuitive reception on command. I release hypervigilant thinking, scanning for what to do next, trying to predict outcomes, solving life instead of listening to life. I have the ability to sit in silence and stillness without anxiety, resistance, and fear. I receive accurate guidance directly from source. I activate the 0 point stillness within and receive divine guidance without mental interference. I activate the ability to quiet the mind and receive guidance directly from source. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. I'm going to see you in part 2. Feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to let me know how you go. And feel free to tell me what your version of rest is based on what's coming up for you specifically. If you want to know my version of rest, I am literally flowing in life, taking every day as it comes, embracing the unknown. I have no plans. I have no vision. It's happening naturally, but I'm holding it lightly. Like visions are coming, plans are wanting to come up. Yes, there's like desires, but I'm just like, I'm enjoying the void. I am enjoying being guided by divinity. I'm embracing simply existing. I'm embracing it, taking it as it comes. And I really do trust the divine. I really do trust that my higher self is driving this vehicle, speaking this vehicle. And I am honoring my soul for where it's at. And where it's at is wanting to communicate from the heart. So, what's your rest look like? Enjoy your rest. Make sure you love yourself through what is necessary. And I'm sure you also require rest. All right, I'll see you in part 2.